Hey everybody, this is Trevor, and you are on my channel, Social Dilemma. And so tonight I watched the documentary by Matt Walsh entitled What is a Woman? And if you haven't seen the documentary, I highly recommend you watch it, whether whatever your I guess your sexuality or gender ideas are. I would highly recommend that you watch his documentary. It's an hour and 34 minutes, and he definitely would sum up my views on it, how I feel about what it is to be a woman. And it's, you could ask the same question, what is a man? And I do believe you can define it by your genitalia. Okay? And when I'm watching this documentary, it makes me think of a movie I saw that was called Kindergarten Cop by Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I believe it was made in the late 80s, maybe in the 90s possibly as well. But in that movie, there's a scene, the Kindergarten Cop, where a small boy gets up and he's of kindergarten age. And he just stands up and he looks at Arnold and he says, "Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina." And that sums up my feelings, really. It's fairly simple, I think. What is a man and what is a woman? And what does it mean to be a woman? Well, you can have a child and a man can't. Okay, a man, you can spend millions of dollars on looking like a woman. Okay, and that's okay. And that's really okay. If you're a man and you want to look like a woman, go ahead. You can do it. But I just to let you know, I mean, once you turn 40, you're going to have to get your prostate exam, and that's a male organ that a female can't have. A female can have, what's cervical cancer. There's certain cancers that men and women get that we just don't get. So, I mean, I can't believe we're debating this. And I do believe there is a Marxist element to this, pushing this gender as a social construct. If you do look into Marxism, you will find that the gender construct is in there. And that's destructive. Marxism. I mean, I've always railed against Marxism for his economic, his economic take on living and whatnot. But now, now we're getting more so into the gender. So I think it's pretty simple. I mean, if you're a woman, you want to identify as a man, go ahead. If you're a man, you want to identify as a woman, go ahead. I do believe life should be voluntary. But where I do have a challenge is when people use the use of force and violence against someone to promote your way of wanting to live. Okay? And that's wrong. You don't use an organization that can use violence on someone to have your way. Okay? So I guess, watching that. What is a woman? I agree with the guy, Matt Walsh, in there. I agree with the documentary, the fellow who made it. But that doesn't mean that does it mean I hate you if you want to be identify as the opposite sex? No, I don't. I certainly don't hate you. You can do it. But just don't use the use of force of an organization to force me to call you something, okay? And I think he does poke fun at people. Well, within the certain questions he does ask, like he asks a professor, "Can I identify as a black man?" And professor doesn't. It's not really poking fun. It's a serious question. Like, if I'm born a man, and I think let's look at this scientifically. I'm born a man. I'm a man. Okay. Um, but he asks one of the college professors in there, "Can I identify as a black man?" Well, you see me on this video. Can I identify as a black man? Would you, as a black man, be offended? I mean, come on. I'm a white male. Okay, I have red hair. Okay, in fact, being a redheaded male, like especially having red hair, do you realize that I am in an extreme minority? There's really only about 5 to 7% of the world's population that has red hair. Okay, I'm a ginger. Should I identify like as some kind of a minority or anything like that? No, no, no. Come on. It's all bunk. It's all bunk. So, my take on the documentary, like I guess I would say I would agree with it, but I would never use the power of the state to force people to comply to my way of thinking, which is different from your way of thinking. If you feel that you're gender neutral or you're trying to be the opposite, that's fine. You want to do it? Go ahead. You go ahead. But there are some things in a male body that a female doesn't have. Like one, for example, like the prostate. Okay, a woman does not. A female, biologically born female, does not have a prostate. So that's why I use that as an example for if you're a male and want to be female, go ahead, knock yourself out. Okay, but you're still going to have to get your prostate exam once you turn 40. You should get it. Um, so yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting documentary. I do have issues there with certified MDs giving the hormone blockers to kids that are like 13, 12, trying to stop puberty. I don't. That just doesn't. That doesn't seem right. Okay, I'm no doctor, I'm no scientist, but that just doesn't seem right to me to stop a part of the developing growth of a human, and whether that human is biologically female or biologically male. Okay, maybe at 13 you're a biological male and you seem like you want to be female. I don't think we should stop that process of the developing human at puberty. Okay, because you're going, there's different stages of life, and that's a very important stage. You're growing, you're developing, and I don't think that stopping that doesn't seem, no, that's not right. Humans have been hitting puberty. I would imagine, I just heard Dr. Jordan Peterson in that video say, for at least 100,000 years we've been going through this. And yeah, I don't think we should stop that. Wait till your mind is of an age where teenage years. Yeah, I'm almost 50, and I think back to teenage years. It's a very tumultuous time. You're growing physically, you're growing mentally, and I don't think we should be giving kids at the age of puberty or just before puberty, so they don't go into it, something to stop that. Now, what happens when you're 19 now and you're and now you go off these puberty blockers? Well, what happens? Like, I don't know. It doesn't sound like you got to catch up on 5 years of development. It doesn't make sense to me. So I do think that is a decision that should be well thought out by parents and the child and the medical profession. I certainly, again, this is where I don't believe that government should be involved in overstepping a parent's the like parents, like we have an obligation to children until you're able to go out and rent your own apartment or buy your house or take care of yourself without that parental guidance. I think parents should, if a 12-year-old says, "Nah, I want to be a girl," and I really don't think the state should step in and say, "Hey, no, that person can now be a boy or a girl." That's where I think the overstepping of government is just awful. Um, I mean, I really do. I believe in the adage of you live under my roof. Not, and I don't mean like some tyrannical way, but I mean you're with you're with me. You're my child, and until you can really, I guess you got to be able to afford to live on your own. You have to pay for yourself. You have to make your way in life. Go out and do what you're passionate about, and the money will follow, and then you will be able to buy your own cars and house and whatnot. But until you're doing that, you're under my protection. Okay, you're under my guidance, and uh, you have to learn what's right and wrong. I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, it's a very thought provoking documentary. What is a woman? And I certainly would recommend going out and watching it. And whether you are, you're opposed to what I'm saying. You're like, no, I don't believe in this. Go out and watch it, and come up with your own video, and let's talk. Comment below, and or make your videos. And I've been watching the opposing views, and I'm going to watch them even more because I want to learn more. But right now, I don't think it's right to be to stop the development of a human being when they're coming to that stage in their life of puberty. So I don't think doesn't seem right to stop that. And yeah, so a decent documentary. Go watch it. And I guess again, like my take is that I agree with him. Like I guess most of what the guy was saying, and but again, hey, you're a boy, you want to be a girl, go ahead. You're a girl, you want to be a boy, go ahead. Do it as an adult, though. I think as an adult, you should be doing that transitioning, and yeah, and again, don't use the power of the state to enforce. I certainly wouldn't want to have the power of the state to enforce what I think. Like how could if I said, hey, that's a law, you can't do this, do that. Um, that's not right. It's hurting people, just like you're hurting me too. And so, if you ask for the state to do something on your behalf, so let's the best way to do it is to share the ideas like this and get them out, and let's talk about them. And but so far, I'm not convinced that puberty blockers are healthy for the development of a human. And yeah. And again, I do unless you can convince me. I mean, you're born male, you're born female. You can spend all the money in the world to transition to the opposite. But again, like just in the male respects, you're going to have to get a prostate exam when you turn 40. Okay, so yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. And if you like what I was saying, thumbs up. Help me out. Subscribe if you're liking what I'm talking about. Comment below whether you like it, or if you don't like what I'm saying, leave a comment. If you don't like them, hit the dislike button too. Like whatever floats your boat, man. So go ahead and let's talk. I want to hear everybody's what they're thinking on this, and yeah, we'll go from there. So stay free, everyone, and we'll talk to you later. Bye bye.